Hello, my name is Alexandria Gates. I am here today to talk to you about a priority policy that I feel is crucial to the advancement of nursing and to effectively care for patients. The policy I have chosen is to fix nurse and healthcare working staffing. We need enforceable minimum safe staffing standards to allow nurses to do their jobs safely and to give patients the care they deserve. Nurses often face challenging conditions confronting life and death situations. The Nursing Code of Ethics establishes standards that help them provide the best quality of care with compassion, respect, and accountability. There are 9 provisions. The first 3, Provision 1, practice with compassion, respect for the inherent dignity, worth, and unique attributes of every person. Provision 2, my primary commitment is to the patient, whether an individual, family, group, community, or population. And Provision 3, to promote, advocate for, and protect the rights of health and safety of the patient. Since our primary commitments as nurses are to patients, and in that commitment, it is our responsibility to advocate that our patients have the right to the care that they deserve and the highest quality ability of safety in that care. In 2020, the Joint Commission put out information about sentinel events, and in that they showed a graph. And from 2013 to 2020, the number of falls resulting as a sentinel event doubled. In 2015, the Joint Commission released a sentinel event alert on fall prevention and contributing factors, and one of those factors mentioned was inadequate staffing levels. Even after this was put out in 2015, the falls increased from 96 to 170 in 2020. That's close to doubling. Provision 4, authority, accountability, and responsibility for nursing practice, makes decisions and takes action consistent with the obligation to provide optimal patient care, owe the same duties to self as to others, including the responsibility to promote health and safety, preserve wholeness of character and integrity, maintain competence, and continue personal and professional growth. As an individual and through collective effort, establish, maintain, and improve the ethical environment of the work setting and conditions of employment that are conducive to safe, quality healthcare. As nurses, we take the responsibility and accountability to make sure we are providing safe, competent, and collaborative care for our patients within an environment that supports safe working conditions. Nurses need to be provided realistic staffing to allow them to adequately care for others. Great staffing and collaboration can mean a full cup that a nurse can pour from versus short staff and close to an empty cup that's harder to pour from. Nursing shortages are shown to lead to errors, higher morbidity, and mortality rates. In hospitals' high patient-to-nurse ratios, nurses experience burnout, dissatisfaction, and the patients experience higher mortality and failure to rescue rates than in facilities with lower patient-to-nurse ratios. Some states have begun to pass the legislation to limit patient-to-nurse ratios, and despite this, when staffing is short, the ratios go up. That's unsafe. We need to promote more patient quality care and allow nurses to be able to provide that care and not expect them to have higher ratios. Provision 7. In all roles and settings, advance the profession through research and scholarly inquiry, professional standards development, and the generation of both nursing and health policy. Provision 8. Collaborate with other health professionals and the public to protect human rights, promote health diplomacy, and reduce health disparities. Provision 9. The profession of nursing collectively through its professional organizations must articulate nursing values, maintain the integrity of the profession, and integrate principles of social justice into nursing and health policy. So keeping in mind these provisions that nurses use, I've come before you today to emphasize that healthcare as a whole needs a more enforceable minimum staffing requirements, because this field is like a machine. It's made up of many moving pieces, and when we start to remove the working pieces, the machine will start to malfunction. And then it may get to a point where it no longer works. If you have all the pieces there, and maybe even some extra pieces in case a piece breaks or you need to replace a piece, the machine will continue to work. Staffing healthcare should be viewed at this same concept. It's better to have more and be able to adequately provide care and safe quality care than only provide the minimum. In an article by the Joint Commission talking about patient safety topics, they talk about having a workforce that is trained and flexible in organizations that deploy to staff in intensive care units during crises, and having rotating staffing schedules that allow for rest and recovery. And this is great, but there also needs to be a minimum safe staffing standard across the board for all healthcare workers, nurses, doctors, techs, nursing assistants. It needs to be a collaboration, because if everyone comes together and it's staffed adequately across the board,